Hello, welcome to Caring Connections. I'm Sally Gibney. I'm so glad you joined us today because today we're going to talk about caring connections. And I have two of my very dear friends here and, well, let's get started. Sandra?
Yes, I'm delighted to be here. This is one of my favorite topics in terms of connecting to each other, and ourselves, so I'm very happy to be here this morning.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm retired. I've been retired for 6 years. I used to be a university professor. I do some community work, so live in Peacedale.
Great. Nancy?
Hi, Sally. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm so happy to be here today because we always have a good time when we're together anyway, so yeah. I know this will be good. I'm retired too. I really was pretty much, and kind of still am, a professional volunteer. I just love getting involved in things and being a part of the community. And when you talk about connections, that's one way to really make connections, is meeting new people, and I really enjoy that.
And you're good at it. But I was reading this morning, I woke up early, and that's why I'm a little out here today. And I was reading Jane Goodall's book on peace, and one of the things she mentioned was how it's so important to make caring connections, but we have to connect with ourselves. And the other day when we were talking about what we were going to talk about on the show, we were talking about how we reach out to everybody, every little thing. What little things can we do? Families, friends, strangers. But I was thinking about it. We weren't talking at all about how do we connect with ourselves? So I made a little cheat sheet this morning, which I never usually do. And the first thing that I came up with was quieting down. Taking some time for ourselves, just kind of taking a moment. Do you ever do that? And if you do, how do you do it? Sandra?
Yeah, I try to take a long walk by myself on the beach, usually without music, without podcasts, just me, just to see if I can get in touch with what's on my brain, like not stimulated, not from anybody else. And I do that at the beach almost every day, and that helps me to, sort of clear my mind. I walk barefoot for more than half the year.
That's what they say. Walking barefoot, you really connect with the earth, and there's something really special about that. Do you find that?
Oh, and the reason I do, and the reason I walk barefoot is because I can feel the temperature of the ocean warm up, as I start in Easter and I end in Thanksgiving, so I can feel the temperature of the ocean. I'm in touch with the seasons and what the clouds look like and all of that. And that's a good way for me to center. I always come back feeling
and what
I'm
about
ready.
And what about the sounds?
Oh, of course, the sounds of the ocean is lovely. That's why I don't listen to music when I'm there. There's music right on the beach every day.
And birds, like
there's
the seagulls
birds,
or whatever.
Seagulls.
Right.
To see them.
It's funny you should say that too, because I always love walking on the beach. I don't do it intentionally like you do, but when I am there, I can't just sit. I really enjoy taking that walk, feeling the sand under my feet, and I never thought of it. And it's very quiet time. You're looking at the rocks and the pebbles and the seashells,
and the glass,
and sea glass. Yes.
Yeah, and you taught me a little bit about what's happening to me when I do that and why I enjoy it so much.
Yeah,
and I love watching other people at the beach as well.
I was just going to say that people
they encounter it.
Yeah.
Watching the little toddlers like squeal at the ocean's edge, like for the very first
time. The joy, the simple joy of just watching them.
And just watching people's pleasure. They'll smile at you. And yesterday I was walking by someone and I said, heaven, and he said, paradise. I was like, okay. Enough said.
Yeah. But it's true, and I think and it's a time when we sort of let go, and so we do connect. We are making caring connections without even realizing it.
Yeah, for me, almost any time I'm outside, I can feel like anxious inside. I'm thinking, oh, I need to do all of this, and then I go outside. Feel the air, like see what's going on, see the greenery, see this flower I'd never seen before. So for me, being in nature is enormously restorative.
And you capture nature. We can talk about that a little bit later, about your photography is absolutely amazing. And sometimes I live at Laurel Mead here in Providence, and there's an overlook. And I'll just go there sometimes and just sit there and look at the water and listen to the birds and seeing, you know, nature is such a gift to all of us. And it's something that we often don't think about. What about you, Nancy?
Well, I think really I take little moments of self-care, I think. I don't get out of bed right away in the morning. I do a little evaluation, you know, of what I'm going to do that day. You know, one of the things that I do is, and I know you mentioned this, is the gratitude. I have a little, I found this at, I don't know, you know, TJ Maxx, someplace like that, and it's a very small plaque, and it says, "Start each day with a grateful heart." I grabbed that thing so fast when I saw it. You know?
That's mine.
Yeah, and I actually bought 2 of them. I put one in the guest bathroom and one in my bathroom. And that's what I see every morning. And so I really do connect in that time, first thing in the morning. I start slow. You know, I'm not good getting up and, you know. And I think I do it again at night. I might have some other times during the day, again, not intentional. I would say the morning and the night are more intentional. But if I'm in the car for any length of time, and especially on the highway, you know, I don't listen to the radio.
Really?
I have my little head going, and usually I'm thinking about what's happening good to me today.
Yeah.
And that it brightens my day to do that.
Well, gratitude turns the day around. I mean, you can really be feeling down or just out of it, and then all of a sudden you see something or think of something that you're grateful for, and it's like, I know. It has something. It does something to our brain. The endorphins.
Right.
You know how when we think of something that's positive and it just changes everything. And it's just so easy and so important, but something that we don't often think about.
But sometimes you're not even aware of it either.
True. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting thing. But eventually, I think you do feel it.
Do you add to the list? Do you write? I mean, because I have a little list. And when something really neat happens, you know, something that's really special, I'll add to it. And then when I'm feeling kind of yucky, you know, I'll take that out and I'll start reading it. And it's amazing how it just turns everything around.
Yeah, I have a gratitude jar.
Oh, I like that.
So I put things in, you know, about specific events. Thank you, we had such a lovely time at the family dinner. Boing.
Yeah.
You know,
and then do you ever take them out and look at them?
I do that regularly. Or like, I went to the doctor, I was concerned. There's nothing to worry about. You're in great health. Thank you.
Yeah.
Into the gratitude jar. And it's fun just to see the size of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's
and to see how it's filling up.
Yeah, it fills up,
which
exactly.
is really, and you know, I think sharing gratitude with our children, you know, because children are so rushing around and they're so busy, and to stop and just say, you know, stop and think about what you have that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
And
but I love the idea of the jar, the gratitude jar, and I'm thinking, the first thing I thought to myself was, what a great gift to give someone.
Well, you know, one Christmas, and this was the Christmas actually before Bob passed, I had seen a jar, and they were like the old jam jars.
Right.
And there was some, I don't know where I read about it, but it was giving it as a gift to children. And so I got all of these jars, and I covered them all, and I got a little pad and pencil and put it in here, and little acts of gratitude. And something that you're grateful for, and there's the same kind of thing. Put it in the jar, or something that you want to remember, and have the children keep it for themselves, and then have them take it out. Now, I have no idea. I think I made about 15 of them. And Bob was like, "You're crazy." But it was, and of course it was good for me because it gave me something busy to do that I was at that particular time. But I have no idea how many of them ever used it.
Well, and it's interesting too if you happen to live with somebody, like you have a partner and you're both dropping in gratitudes.
That's a great idea.
And then you look at
Share
them, you're like,
yeah.
oh, I didn't even think you noticed that, or whatever it is. You know?
I love that.
Interesting. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
really kind of interesting.
That's a little bonus.
That's a little
Right.
bonus, yeah.
It really is. It really is. Yes, gratitude is so important. And again, I think sharing it with the children.
Oh, absolutely.
Being grateful because, you know, they're so busy, and I think letting them to stop and think about it a little bit.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a really, really good thing. Okay, next on the list. Oh, time with family and friends. And so what are special times that you have that means so much to you that, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I make sure, because I am at the very heart an introvert. Like, I love one-on-one conversations with people. In larger groups, I really...
Is that right?
I don't shine
Now, I
there.
know
It's not
you
my...
for how long, and I see you in front of classes and
But yeah,
different
you
groups.
teach classes and activity type classes, not just lecture type.
And you're
Right.
so great with people, and you're so open, and but it's not easy for you.
No, but my most enriching times are like one-on-one important conversations where, as you were saying before, you know, you're with 4 good friends and the time goes by and the conversation never stops because you're sharing something that you share with each other, common concerns or common histories. So that's for me. I make sure that I see a very good friend at least once a week, you know, maybe more often, and have like conversations that like mean a lot to me. I never walk away like feeling empty or like, oh, that was a waste of time.
And,
so
and
that's
it's making the
important.
time for that, though,
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
And I think we all forget that, hey, I can just call and say, want to meet me for, you know, lunch today? It might be an hour and a half away.
Yes.
But, hey, they can say no, but they might go, you know, that would be great.
Yes.
And, you know, and it might be the one thing that you both need.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Today, people seem to, even the kids, they schedule everything. You know,
Yeah.
and it's trying to be a little more spontaneous. Yeah.
Let's talk about spontaneity. That's something that is really so important, and it makes us feel so good when we do it.
Yeah.
But we don't do it. You're
No.
absolutely right.
Oh, they're
Really?
probably busy.
Yeah.
You know, that's what goes through your head.
Right.
But then, well, I won't know if I don't check in with them and ask.
I have a
you know?
slogan, which is, because I think that's such an important point. Lots of times I think, oh, I'd love to see Pam today. Let me see if she's available. It's like, oh, well, you know, I should have asked yesterday, or like all these things. And so my slogan is, when in doubt, reach out. Like if you think,
I like
you know,
that.
Yeah.
whatever. If she's like, oh, I'm too busy, but because I think there's the prospect of meeting, but just in the other person's mind, the fact that you're reaching out and you wanted to see them.
Yes.
Even if you don't, it's still like, you're on my mind, I care about you.
Don't you, I mean, think about how important it is to us, what it means to us when someone calls, a friend from years ago contacted the TV station in Vermont to get my phone number. Because she had seen that I had done a show or something, I don't know. And so she called the station and they said, well, we can't give out her number, but we'll contact her. So they contacted me and gave me her number, and I called her. And we talked for over an hour yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was just wonderful.
Yeah.
It was just absolutely wonderful. And the fact that she had even thought of me made such a difference. It was just wonderful for me. You did something with your friends for your birthday. Do you want to share that, Sandra?
Yeah, so when I
think that
turned
was such an incredible thing.
a significant age, which you can find on the internet.
We're all reaching significant ages.
I decided I would reach out to everybody in my life who had made my life better than it otherwise would have been. So I went back to high school friends, people I'd gone to college with, mentors of mine, students of mine, friends who had no idea the impact they had. Like I had met them at important points in my life. And so we had like wonderful conversations with about 42 people. You know, the internet contacts, you know, have you seen, I wrote letters to some people who I hope were still at the same address. So a couple of people I couldn't find, a number of people had passed away, and I felt really badly about like losing them without being able
you
to
can
say.
still talk to them though.
Yes, exactly. You know, so that was wonderful, you know, for me. just as, you know, as an older person, like taking account, thinking, oh my goodness, you have led, it didn't seem like at every moment, but you've led a blessed life on so many levels. You've been given so many, back to gratitude. You've been given so many gifts to allow yourself to have a rich life.
And you know, you never really know. And I recently lost a dear friend, and gratefully, thankfully, I was with her when she passed. And to share with her some of the good times that we had had together, and that she was blessed, and that she was going on to peace, to heaven, and I was very, very grateful to be able to be with her at the time. But the other thing was just to be able to let someone know how important they are to you. And as we progress, as you said, I'm going to be 84 in November. I'm like, oh, how would this happen? But we are getting to that point where you don't know, but nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. So to be able to reach out and let people know while you can, and while they can enjoy it and realize it, I think it's so important. It's a gift. It really is a gift, not just for them, but for ourselves.
Yes, I think that's right. And you had said something a little earlier about how we take care of ourselves. And I think at the bottom of it, I take care of myself by connecting to other people. Like just like constant interest in people and what they're up to, and wanting to know more about that. And so when I say hello to somebody, it's not really to make their day better. It's to make my day better.
Well, that does.
That's very, very true. Very true. I find that myself. You know, where I don't have a planned interaction with anybody. I don't have some place to be. It happened to me just the other day, and I had several things to go to stores to return.
Yes.
It was one of those kind of, you know, get it, check the boxes, check those boxes. But I found myself everywhere I went, I did a yada yada with somebody because I think I needed it. I needed some kind of connection.
So did they. You know,
well,
I think, the response that we get when, you know, if I share a coin or just a hello or whatever, it's amazing how many people really are just longing for that.
Yes.
You know, it's just, I was talking with a friend this morning, and she said that she had visited a friend who was in the hospital, and apparently one of the aides or something did their job, but wasn't really overly friendly or warm or whatever. And this person was thinking, oh, Godfrey, here comes so-and-so, you know. And for some reason, he gave her a coin. And he said that it just totally turned her around. It was like, for her to think that somebody thought that she mattered made all the difference in the world. And so you never know. You never know what it's going to do or what it means to someone.
But you know, I think to go back to your point about self-care, I mean, it took me a while to come up with that realization, like why I talk to these people. You know, I was like, oh, I'm taking care of myself, really. I'm making a connection with somebody I've seen before. Today I'm going to go up and say, I so admire your practicing soccer, like every day. It's amazing. And he had a wonderful Greek accent, and he began into this beautiful story about his best trainer is the ocean itself. He kicks the ball, chases it, and I said, why do you do all this? He said, because this is my calling.
Isn't
We
that
had this
beautiful?
wonderful exchange. But
It is
really,
interesting how one little piece of, like, you know,
A word.
something you notice.
A
No, but just
word or
something you
noticing
notice about
something.
somebody.
Yes.
Like I was in the
bracelet.
store, and then somebody had, I said, oh, I love the bracelet you got on your watch. And we had a whole conversation about it. She told me why she had it, and the other one didn't work. And I mean, it was great.
It's so true. The other thing I think is so important is that the children, is that we acknowledge them and we let them know the little things that are important. You know, I'll send a little text to one of my grandchildren and I'll say, thinking of you today, or that was a great game, or that was, and you get back just a thanks. But they know that you're thinking about them, and I think it's so easy to just let things go and not realize the impact that it has. And you know, and the other day I just sent something out to Alan, and I just got a little thanks, and I thought, wow. But that meant a lot to him that I acknowledged something. And I think, do you find that with the children? Well, you with Matthew.
Yes.
The little things that you do for him that have such an impact. And I think we take it for granted that, well, we just do it because we want to do it, and does it really matter? But it matters so much more than we realize.
Yeah, you know, you have many more grandchildren and much more experience with like young people at that age. But you know, when I write him, like when we're not together, I always very often think about like what I'm going to probably praise him on some level, you know, because he's so exceptional. But I always try to be like careful about like not just. I try to make those comments like very important. Like when we're at practice, he really helps out this other 12-year-old who's not as good a musician, and I always make that point. You know, your ability to bring Michael's personality out is so impressive. You have a talent for that, you know. And so he recognizes that it's not all about like things other people praise him. Like he's a great saxophone player, he's a good runner. But to focus on like the human relations skills he's building, and to be conscious of that, and that should be recognized.
It is, and again, it's not just that we're sharing with them, and if they get something out of it, we get something out of it too. Everything that we do comes back to us.
I completely
you know, I think
that is the truth,
and it's sometimes even more than like one for one.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes you wonder. I think I'm getting more out of this.
It's true. It's so true.
And I think for me especially, because I'm alone, I live alone. My children don't live close by. They're always at the other end of the watch, the phone, whatever. You know, I think it's just even that much more important because I don't have anybody to talk to around the house.
Yes.
And so I find myself sometimes just needing that, you know, just to talk to somebody.
And I think, you know, getting back to talking about ourselves, making that connection with ourselves, and realizing what are the things that we need so that we can be aware of that.
Well, you have to put your own oxygen mask on first.
That's true. That's true.
You know, I find myself reminding myself and then also saying that to some other people. So, you know, saying, you know, you have to care for yourself so you can care for others, so that you can give something. And
acknowledge that we're important enough to care about ourselves.
Exactly, right.
That we do matter, that we are someone special, and that we're here for a reason, we're here for a purpose. And just to embrace that, to embrace our purpose, to embrace who we are, and to look at our talents. I mean, there's no harm in writing the things that we do well, you know, and to look at them, you know, the things that we're grateful for. I think having these little things that we're going back on and acknowledging, it's kind of like putting juice in us.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it.
Filling us up.
Yeah.
I think we're coming down towards the end. So, okay, we've got 5 whole minutes. We've got a lot of time left.
So one thing I do, because I tend to be an anxious person, I tend to worry much more than I ever did in my life as I get older. So once a month I put together a worry map and a dream map. And the worry is like the 5 top things I'm worrying about. Then the 5 things I'd like to do, because I play music, so I want to, you know, master this piece. And what's so interesting is when I go month to month, the top worry I had in August has completely disappeared by September.
Really? How did you ever come up with that?
What's that?
How did you come up with that idea?
You know, I was just trying to observe to myself, like, how much space I allow to occupy my mind for things that are so temporary. Like, so, you know, like I'll be going to a concert in Providence and I'll worry about parking for a week. And I'm like, really? Honest? You know, so it's a way for me to remind myself, like, what I have occupying my mind and how that might, as the Buddhists say, you know, passes over like a cloud. Don't pay attention to it. So I do that like once a month, and I color them. Sometimes I put faces on them.
Well, you have, I mean, your drawings are so phenomenal.
Yeah.
Sometime I think we're going to do a show, and we're going to show up all the things that we do, these little things, because Sandra has so many. Your drawings are phenomenal,
Well,
and your pictures are wonderful.
You. But I mean, it's like just a way to like manage that. Once again, you take it like, how do I take care of myself? I take care of myself, especially now. You know, I tend to take, you were talking about like moments, and I try to, when I feel I'm getting like angry, something has changed my mood, I don't know what it is, I try to stop, say, okay, so like what's happening with you? And that's a way to take care of myself, so I'm not like exploding in anger, or all of a sudden I'm stomping around the house for no good reason.
Yeah.
So to like take sense of like, where does that feeling come from? Like, how do I want to deal with that? Do I want to react?
They say being tired and hungry.
Oh yes, tired and
all
hungry.
Those things. Are we taking care of ourselves?
Absolutely.
I think in the last couple of minutes that we have, would each of you share? We'll do another show about reaching out to other people, because there's so many things we can do, and there's so much need out there, and each one of us can make a huge difference, one person at a time. But what are the things that you'd like to leave our listeners with about taking care of ourselves?
Yeah, I would say, you know, that point about like reaching out, like starting conversations with strangers, and trying to disabuse yourself of the idea that people don't want to talk to me. Like nobody wants to be bothered, everybody's busy, nobody wants to have a conversation. And to do that in like little steps, and you know, make these connections, and you get to come home with the most amazing stories about conversations you've had with people who are, you know, a complete surprise to you.
Yeah. And what does it do for you?
It you know, it helps me understand that, you know, although I'm the chief star in my movie, all these other people are the chief characters in their movies, and they have enormous, you know, enormous value.
And it gives you joy.
Yeah, we had a little event yesterday where I asked people to write on a card things we don't know about them by just looking at them. You know, and there were like 12 people, and everybody had the card, and we had to guess whose card that was. And in this group of 12 people, one person had shaken the hands of JFK. Somebody else was David Copperfield's cousin.
Wow.
Somebody else had hitchhiked from Boston, Massachusetts to Haight-Ashbury. And we would have never known that, but we had a great conversation, you know, just completely. And you realize the richness of everybody's life.
Of everybody's life, exactly.
That's a great additive to my life, and a great way to take care of myself.
Yeah. Nancy, what about you?
Well, I'd have to say that the quiet time is important, as I talked about, but I think equally as important is to put yourself out there and reach out to other people. I get so much back. That's self-care for me, because I need it. I know I need it. I need the connections, and you know, they're not going to come to me. I have to make them, and that really makes me very happy.
I know. I know. For me, it's such a joy when I share the caring coins, because inevitably, for one reason or another, it touches someone for whatever they need at that particular moment.
Right.
It kind of helps with that. So it's just such a joy. And I think that you two are such a joy. And I love you both. And I thank you so much for being here.
It's always a pleasure
we have
being
to do
with
it
you.
Again.
Absolutely. It was lovely.
I think every other month we have to do this. I really come up with different things. And because today, so many of us, there's so much going on that we don't know. Oh, there's a storm going on outside. It's thundering and lightning. Oh my goodness, I bet you can hear it. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember that you so matter. Everybody matters. And take care of yourself and reach out to each other. And until next time, keep on making those caring connections. Thank you. Bye-bye. And look, I have coins for you too.